excited to get underway and see where each of these teams finishes. Of course, Resistance so far have not had the best time of things. 0 for 3 in their groups. They have played Mirage a couple of times as well in this very tournament. They played it up against Seed, took a 16-8 loss there, as well as playing against Epsilon and taking a 16-11 loss. However, I can certainly understand why Resistance are continuing to try and play Mirage, because they have had some fairly impressive upset results in the past. They managed to beat Binary Dragons 16-5 on this map, as well as coming out on top against Nexus in a very tight game, 16-14. So I certainly feel like Resistance could put up a fight here. However, at the same time, this map has been very strong for Kinguin recently. Their form is so good on this map. Kinguin have won the last 7 times they played Mirage. The last loss they had on this map was against Ecstatus. I think it was about a month ago now. In terms of how the Poles have performed so far in their group, they have done okay so far. They've got 2 wins and 1 loss. So they're almost certainly going to be making playoffs. But this game is really actually quite important for both teams here. Resistance really could do with a win to get themselves in with a chance of not being that bottom team. Because the team that finishes in last place does not make it through to the playoffs. And Kinguin themselves, if they win their final 2 games, then they would tie the record of, I believe it's WASD, who went 4 for 1. And so that would be incredibly important for them to try and get that first place from this group. So here we go, underway into the pistol, and Holmes is going to buy up a set of nades for Resistance. Flash goes over towards B, but you can see the bomb is way back in T-spawn. So after Resistance go poking and probing towards B, they are not going to fully commit to the push. There's only a decoy thrown over the top, sorry, not the flashbang. So certainly understandable that Resistance don't decide to push, and it looks like they have a different plan in mind for the end of the round. A little over a minute left, and here comes the push. Spiro, the first line of defense, finds a quick headshot, makes it a second frag. Nearly the third, but finally ASDF trades on him. However, the damage is already done here. Kinguin are having a great time of things, and Kappa just sprays away from behind and eventually finds the headshot to leave Kingo in a 1 versus 4. And Resistance there went for a fairly basic split in towards the A site, but as soon as Spiro shuts down the connector push, that makes such a huge difference on the round. It means that it was very much on the players trying to push through A ramp to make the difference, and that's not an easy position to push from with those Glocks. You are going to be forced to take fairly long-range fights with the Glocks up against those USPs. So that doesn't particularly work out well for Resistance. The Serbian team will eventually lose this first round. Kinguin having a fairly good time of things, though, keeping 4 players alive. It's exactly what they would have hoped for in that first pistol. And wow, look at this from Kinguin. This is not something you'll see all that often. They've gone for 5 rifles here into this second round. A lot of teams will go for majority SMGs in a round like this, but they are up against the Force Buy, so it might be worth going for the M4s. Again, I would certainly like to see 1 or 2 UMPs in there, just to make sure you do have the full nades and a defuse kit, if, worst case scenario, you are forced to retake. But here comes Mihu swinging out wide towards mid, and that's an easy headshot for him to find. See Resistance focused towards mid. However, after Mihu got that first kill, he's playing fairly safe. Just as I say that, he goes for a bit more, finding a second kill, and here comes Spiro executing opponents 1 by 1. So despite Resistance's best efforts, they don't put up too much resistance in this round. Kinguin managed to dispatch of the Force by fairly easily. And of course now it's just going to be a hard eco. So it looks like the full rifles worked out very well for Kinguin there. They managed to save all 5 guns. So all things considered, going the rifles was clearly worth it in that round, I think. Fair play to Kinguin. I was kind of doubting them a little bit, but if they can keep everyone alive, it absolutely is worthwhile. And so Resistance, with just a couple of upgraded pistols, won't be too likely to get anything out of this round either. I think that was the nade going into Palace there that helped do a lot of damage on towards Decky, down to 13 HP. And Resistance are just going to see if they can maybe get a little bit of luck on the A's sight, but it's just not going to happen. Mouse finds 3 kills incredibly quickly with the silenced M4, and so the Polish team, will get themselves a 3-0 lead. So heading into the gun round, we aren't going to see any AWPs, both teams just sticking with full rifles. I don't think Resistance could have afforded one, whereas Kinguin, of course, have been saving full rifles from the previous rounds. So they decide it's not really worth going into that large investment into that AWP this early on, which is certainly understandable. Out comes a flash towards mid, and a fair bit of utility already used from Resistance. They have managed to gain control of mid with that, and Rallen spots out the man in towards Palace. Smoke gets dropped down. Here comes the push. Spiro peers over the top of the smoke to find a fairly easy frag. And he's got a little bit more support, but Rallen does go down there. Impulse finding that trade kill eventually. You can see Spiro trying to force things, but Impulse, with just 1 bullet, just taps off his head. Very nice work from him. Such a clean kill to give Resistance themselves the man advantage. The fact that he just puts 1 bullet into Spiro's head there. Really nicely done. And now Kappa on the B site is looking very, very isolated from the rest of his team. Does look like it's the correct decision though, because the bomb is currently leaning over towards A. 28 seconds left. Kappa pushing forward, does get that first kill, and now he should realise there's no one else pushing the B site. Malzinho here has it all to do, and he should be able to do it. Hearing the steps, executing 2 opponents that were trying to make their way towards the site. So Kinguin, sure, he'll get the 1 kill, but with 10 seconds left, is he even going to be able to pick up the bomb? Oh dear. Kinguin, that's a molly, my friend. It turns out that fire can hurt sometimes. He does end up going down. To be fair to Kinguin there, just dying to the molly, I know it looks pretty dumb, and okay, it is kind of dumb, but at the same time, as long as you don't die after the time, you do get the bonus money. So at least it could have gone worse for him. Ooh, Decky opening up towards mid with a quick deagle shot. And the AWP does land a shot itself, but not good enough for the kill as it lands through the wall. The nade from Mihu and the bullets are going to find him a couple of kills. He even dinks Impulse down to 17 HP, and he will eventually finish him off. Mouse gets a free kill at A. And so Mihu's sublime triple kill will secure the round. And early on here, Resistance really struggling to find their footing in this game. Not only are they going to go 5-0 down, but also Kinguin have looked very, very convincing in their round wins so far. And I think especially Resistance being forced to start on the T side could be a fairly big issue for them. Just because I personally think this Kinguin roster does have quite a lot of skill on it. You can see Spiro with the AWP. They have the players with the rifles that can also do the damage. Mihu, of course, fairly well known in the Polish scene as a player that Mihu always really performs very well at this sort of level. Oh, Impulse. I thought was going to get that opening pick, but Spiro just peeks straight on towards him for that first frag. And Mouse himself finds a fairly easy spray down. And it seems like Resistance now, they're starting to get a little bit antsy to try and find those opening kills. I don't think it was all that necessary for the player to push out Palace there. He didn't really have his teammates who were going to be able to help him out. And so Resistance go down 2 players incredibly quickly into the round. Kappa holding off B-Apps. Really nice off angle. Kinguin doesn't check it. And again, at this point, it looks like Kinguin are just going to be able to take a fairly easy round, especially as Rallen has pushed through Palace. Holmes doesn't check the flank well enough. Here we go. Rallen is going to get the free kill. He could have gone for the knife, but he just decides to secure the frag. Think of the money, Rallen. Think of the bonus money. The $1,500 kill reward. Should have gone for the knife. Just Decky left. Well, he spots out the first man, and the second opponent spotted. But still no kills just yet. Nice shot there on towards Mihu, who forced the issue a little bit, and Decky landing a couple of shots here. I don't think it's going to lead to anything, though. Oh, Decky gets another kill! Kappa there jumps up and takes that fight. I was surprised to see him go so aggressive. That was a little bit scary from Kinguin there, challenging the AWP 1 by 1. How the Kinguin managed to get themselves the 6-0 lead. See Resistance there, just getting told off a little bit by the admins. Dimka will have his name on now. So heading into round 7 here, I would have liked Resistance to just take a timeout at this point, but they decide against it. They are just going to play things through with the rifles in this round. We've got Spiro with the AWP holding towards mid, but he's not really going to find an angle just yet. And as the smoke comes in, he won't be able to find an angle. So yet again, Resistance gain mid control early on, but Kinguin are just finding the opening picks way too easily. Dimka goes down first, a flash comes out, and Decky might be in trouble. No, he actually wins that fight on towards Spiro, and here comes Kinguin. Great timing for him to find Rallen, not looking towards his position. So Resistance finally looking like they have the upper hand in a round. A minute left, plenty of time, and the man advantage, but that's thrown away. Kappa and Miles get a kill each on the A-hold, and now Holmes and Impulse have to make their way forward. They have to find these eventual trade kills. Push comes out, Impulse does get that frag. So we go back to a 2 versus 2. And Holmes here, he's going to try and plant for mid, but there's a player at short. This could be huge. Mihu denies the bomb plant. Impulse needed to hold that position, and instead Mihu takes down 2 opponents fairly easily there. Resistance again making slight mistakes. They kind of needed the support to watch towards the bomb there, but you saw the AWP was the AWP of Impulse wasn't peeking out wide enough to defend his teammate. So just taking a quick look at the scoreboard so far, Kappa still hasn't died yet so far in this game. Mal's already up there at 10 kills. Spiro and Mihu with the 2 AWPs have also been playing fairly well. When Mihu has had that AWP, he hasn't had it too often so far, but the rifle has also worked well for him. Here we go, a couple of nades out towards the A site, and Resistance will follow through with a few more flashbangs. It's just the CZs for them to play with. 5 CZs to try and overwhelm the players, but Miles is here. Only the one makes it a second headshot before he goes down. And the smoke in towards CT means that Mihu can't find the trade yet, but just as I say that, the smoke fades and he does nail that shot. Makes it a second kill on the round, as now Kinguin, the one man left. Decent damage by Resistance, and here comes the spray through the box! All of a sudden, Kinguin has got this back to a 1v1. He's got 3 kills on the round, but he still needs 1 more up against Spiro. And to be fair, Spiro has the AWP. If he misses a shot, he could run the risk of being taken out here. It looks like Spiro isn't aware that Kinguin is so low on health, so he's having to stick with the AWP. And that could end up costing him. 33 seconds left. Spiro still sticking in towards Connector. But Kinguin will be the man forced to make the first move. And he will do just that, recovering the bomb, making his way towards the site. Of course, for all Kinguin knows, there could be a player in towards CT, and now Spiro will have heard that fake plant. The timing is everything here, but Kinguin might get the bomb down. Spiro pushing slowly but surely with the AWP in his hands, and he just gets that shot. Spiro looked so cool, calm, and collected there in the one-on-one. Always felt like he was going to get that frag for his team. And Resistance make it close on the half buy, sorry, with the CZs, but close is not good enough at this point. They need a round win. Kinguin already halfway to that magic number 16. They've got 8 rounds on the board without any response from Resistance. Either way, Resistance, after taking that round so close with just the CZs, might be feeling better about their chances now that they do have the rifles again. They showed that they can have some success against Kinguin. The A site take was fairly standard with the smokes over the top, with the flashes over the top, but it worked out well. So let's see if Resistance can stick together for a push yet again, as Spiro takes a little bit of damage in towards window. He himself was trying to open things up with the AWP, but that will not be a possibility, as yet again he is smoked off. Here goes Spiro, though, repositioning in towards connector. And Decky will get flashed in, but Spiro misses the shot, despite not being blinded. And so he is forced to play fairly safe. In the meantime, Miku in towards window. Not quite going to get the angle due to the second smoke. However, the utility is starting to dwindle on the Resistance side. 45 seconds, push comes in, but Miku opens up in the round, finding that first headshot. You can already see Resistance, they are going to lean towards the A-bomb site, with Decky already being in such an advanced position in towards connector. So with 30 seconds left, they will look to split towards A. It's yet again going to be up to Mouse to really hold the bomb site alongside Rallen, helping him out from CT. And Mouse thinking of the peek out into the open, he's getting caught off guard from connector. So with 15 seconds left, Resistance do have to force this push onto the site right now. And I think they might just be able to do so. 10 seconds, bomb crosses to the site, but there's no cover. Miku gets the easy kill, and that is the round over. Again, I was saying earlier, Resistance seemed to be running out of utility. They used a lot towards mid early on. And that's what ends up costing them here. They didn't have the smoke for CT. They can't get the bomb planted. And now this is really starting to get out of control from the Resistance perspective. They're down 9-0. They're just going to have to force up again into this round. And again, to be fair to Resistance, I think if they just had a smoke for CT, or if they had a player helping allow the bomb to go down, they would have been in a fairly good position there. However, it seemed like they didn't quite realise they didn't have too much time left. Miku takes a tiny bit of damage towards B. Here comes the push, but Kappa is in a prime position to take that opening frag. Decky towards mid will spot out Spiro, who possibly went a little too over-aggressive there, but there's 3 players on the B site ready to find these frags, and between them they will do just that. Kappa gets 2, Rallen gets 1, and so Decky and Holmes now in a 2-on-4, although a couple of opponents are low on health. Decky misses that opening shot. If he could have found that kill, that would have been a huge advantage for Resistance to be able to get a chance in the round, but it's just not meant to be. Holmes left 1 versus 4. And without the bomb in his control, I don't think this is going to be happening. Indeed, it will not. 10-0 now. Kinguin get themselves double digits on the scoreboard without a response from Resistance. And again, this is something we see fairly often from teams that are losing fairly heavily. They don't opt to use those tactical timeouts. Even if Resistance don't particularly have anything to discuss in the timeout that's all that sort of groundbreaking, just being able to sort of break things up and realize where you're going wrong, that's going to be very important, and yet Resistance aren't deciding to go for that. So Resistance, again with just pistols. They did have success in a round previously similar to this. And in that previous round, they went for the A play. However, it looks like this time, after they use a little bit of utility towards that A site, Kinguin themselves counter with a smoke to deny the push. So the Serbians again play the start of a round slowly. I'm surprised to see them just run out mid here. We've seen Spiro be willing to hold that with an AWP. Either way, there we go. Mouse gets a fairly easy frag. Again, Resistance here just kind of looking a little bit disjointed on their pushes, not really pushing together. The CZs will get a couple of kills back, and there goes Holmes opening up. So again, the CZs managed to find themselves in a position where they could still win this round. A 2 versus 2 now, and with Holmes having the AWP, he could find this trade kill. Indeed, he does. The bomb is dropped up on the box on the site, though. That could make things awkward. But Kappa's just going to play for the kill. He's peeking into the open here, and Holmes is not going to expect it. He did land a shot, but didn't get the kill. Kappa survives on 16 HP to keep Kinguin's flawless start to this game going. I say flawless start to this game. We're already into the late stages of the first half here. And Kinguin continue to not allow a single round to be taken on the Resistance side. Nade out towards mid. There are a couple of players here, and a tiny bit of damage done. See, Decky with his AWP is going to look for the opening pick. With the smoke being up, Kinguin aren't too worried about holding on to mid. But Mihu was sticking around. Out comes the Incendiary. Forces Mouse into the open, and there we go. Mihu does take down Impulse first. He's going to deploy the smoke for himself as well, but there might be a gap there he can try and exploit jumping up. Kingor is more than ready for it, though. Very smart from Kingor to realise when that smoke comes out, that is likely what Mihu is going for. So thanks to Kingor's awareness, it will be Resistance back into a 4v4. Again, though, look at this. Resistance, they use so much taking mid control, and all they have to show for all of this utility, for all of this presence, is control of mid. And now they have to try and hit a site with just one Molotov for Holmes and a flash and a smoke for Kingor. And unless they can get a quick headshot, that's going to be difficult, but Dimka proves he can find a quick headshot, taking down Rallen in the one-on-one fight. And there we go, Kingor does find the eventual trade on towards Spiro. So Resistance finally have the advantage, but look at that, Kappa flicks back around to take down Kingor. And so now Decky is left to clutch it for his team. He does go peeking out wide and just nails that first shot to give himself a 1v1. Decky goes jumping up, gets the information, backs off to CT. Kappa here making his way forwards, but Decky in a really good spot. At the same time, Kappa does have a smoke. So if he could deploy that, then the AWP could find things tricky here, and Kappa just swings out before Decky could get back to cover. Finds the headshot again, and yet again Kinguin just about managed to win another round. Resistance have been taking them close so many times. But again, Kinguin managed to hold their nerve in the one-on-ones. And it just seems like Resistance not really having the frame of mind to be able to win those clutches. Flash going to go out towards mid. Resistance have had enough of the slow play. They're going to push out mid fast, but Spiro finds a fairly easy opening frag. The rest of Resistance will file their way out through mid, but Maus gets a kill elsewhere. Spiro finds a second frag. I believe this window in towards, or the smoke in towards window, yeah, failed. So that really just allowed him the 2 kills, and that's going to lead to the round falling apart. Dimka also goes down. Not a single kill for Resistance. This is starting to get a little bit depressing at this point. 13-0 down. And to be fair to Resistance, they have looked competitive in a fair few rounds. They have taken a couple of rounds incredibly close and probably should have won in the 1v1s. And yet Kinguin just managed to pull out all the stops to deny Resistance of a single round on the board. And it looks like Twitch chat is trying to hype Kinguin up for the 16-0. We'll have to see if it's a possibility. They're only 3 rounds away. Although, now that I've mentioned the 16-0, who knows, maybe I've jinxed it. If Resistance win this round, I'll take the blame, guys. because they have gone for a force buy that doesn't exactly look optimal. Here comes the push out towards A. There's 3 players here for the Kinguin side. Mouse finds one, Spiro finds one, Rallen finds one. They get a kill each on the A-hold before a trade can come through. And with the bomb being down out in the open, Resistance just don't really have too many chances at this point, unless Kinguin overpeak and give them these fights. And Resistance have almost no chance in the round, but look at Kingor spraying 2 down. Here comes Rallen though, making sure the trade comes through. And Deki is still in a 1-on-2 despite Kingor's best efforts. Hasn't really given Deki all that much to work with still. The smoke is deployed here, and so Deki will be able to sneak his way back to the bomb, sneak his way to the site and get the plants down. There is a player coming from CT, and Rallen does get taken out here. Deki in a 1-on-1. Spiro throws out the incendiary, forces him out into the open. And Spiro yet again wins another 1v1 for Kinguin. I'm going to go ahead and check here. How many 1v1s has this been so far? So there was 1 in that round, 2, 3 1v1s, 1. I think that's 4 1-on-1s that Kinguin have come out on top in. So as you can see, Resistance may be a bit unfortunate to not be able to get at least 1 round on the board. But at the same time, Kinguin have just looked so confident in those clutches. Every single time, it looks like they are the ones who know exactly what to do. And so here it is, round 15. Unless Resistance can take this round here, they're not going to get a single round on their T side. Commentator will talk about his week soon. I don't think anyone wants to hear about that. I'm pretty boring. Nade coming out towards mid. Deki did take some damage early on. Out comes the smoke. Ooh, double nade from Kinguin. I really like that. If there was a player pushing from underground, he probably would have been taken down. Either way, Spiro looks to open things up, and yet again that AWP gets the first kill. Not as boring as this game. Maybe true. Oh, Spiro gets himself a collat. This could be a highlight play if I've ever seen one. Kingor the 1 man left, Spiro hard scoping in, and he nails the final shot. The 4K for Spiro gives Kinguin 15 rounds at the half. And again, Spiro really had free reign towards mid. He was a complete terror on the CT side. And so here it is, Resistance have to win this pistol round, otherwise Kinguin are going to take the 16-0. Here we go, boys. Here we go. Will the Polish team be able to close this out? Looks like Kinguin are going to make their way over towards B to start things off. Resistance themselves have a couple of players leaning towards the B side of the map. And here comes the B rush coming forwards. Deki, the first man on the hold. He does go down, but finds a frag before he is taken out. Nade goes in deep. Mihu gets another kill. The Glock's just running onto the site, but Kingor finds another trade back. So we go back to a 3v3. And there goes Impulse finding another headshot. Rallen finds the trade. Such a back and forth round. But after all is said and done, it's a 2v2 with the bomb having been planted. They know there's a player in towards kitchen, but they have no idea the man's coming from apps. Spiro does go down. It's Rallen 1-on-2. He gets the first headshot, looking for the second kill, playing the time, playing around the sights. Rallen getting pushed on towards Dimka, whiffing. How is this fight so awkward? Rallen does eventually get the kill, and it is the 16-0 for Kinguin. What a way for them to start the day. Very sloppy fight to finish things off, but Rallen gets the job done nonetheless. And it will be Kinguin taking this one incredibly convincingly. I don't think there's too much else to be said about this one. All you need to see is that scoreline at the top. Again, to be fair to Resistance, there were so many rounds they took really close. They lost 4 1v1s in that first half. And so it is a little bit unfortunate for them that they don't get a single round. But they're just going to have to live with the 16-0 memes.